Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk episode 19, maybe? Is it horrible that I didn't check before I started recording? I really should do that. Anyway, it'll pop up and say what number it actually is if I'm wrong, so who cares, because you're here to see the yarny stuff, right? So, the weather has been pretty good this week. Sorry, we have a pair of nesting crows that their nest is right across the street, well, the street behind us from our house near the playground, and they like to hang around in our yard and eat bird food and any scraps of garbage that the passing teenagers throw into our yard. And I was just watching them prance around outside there. It's really cool to be able to see them that up close to me. They're kind of like seagulls here. It's pretty weird. I would think that being right on a lake that we would be more likely to have something like a gull, but instead we have crows. Tons and tons of crows everywhere in this area of Washington. It's so weird. But anyway, I have one finished object for this week, and that is it, because I'm almost done with the second one that I need to have done today for a birthday party gift tomorrow. So I'm going to show you the box of what my husband and I have made so far for animals to send to the sheriff's office that my mother-in-law works for. There are two things in here that I made, and all of the rest of them are things that my husband has made. So you saw this teddy bear that I made before, and I used the leftover yarn to make this little guy. This is called the Mini Monster, and it is by Monsters Toy Box. I actually saw this little guy, the pattern for this, from watching Karen Hale's videos. I saw that she made one the other day and I thought it was pretty cute. So I thought, well, I have a tiny little ball of scrap yarn that'll be perfect, and it's super small. I mean, this teddy bear is teeny, this thing is even smaller. So there's these two that I made, and all of the rest of these are ones that my husband made. He really likes to work with the Bernat blanket yarn because it's big, so it works up quick, and he crochets super tight, so when he uses normal yarn, it takes him a lot more of it to get something done because the stitches are so tight, it's insane. So these are little octopi that are made out of the, where's this one's eyeballs? There they are. Made out of the Bernat blanket yarn. We're looking at my face. There's one. There's another one. They are super fuzzy, and he packed them super tight, so these are perfect snuggling size. There's also this little octopus, which is like the ones that I've made before and that I saw the pattern for on Sean's Crafty Corner. And also Lucy Coates makes a bunch of these that I've seen her do too. But this was with Lily's Sugar and Cream. I don't remember the colorway on this one. But he also made this bunny rabbit from the same yarn as the octopus. And this bunny is from the Edward's Menagerie book. I thought it's pretty cute. He ripped out and restitched the face on 5 or 6 times before he was happy with it. I am pleased with it, but he doesn't really like the design of the ears. My kids are in love with it. They keep trying to take it. I'm like, no! You've got so many stuffed animals already and I make you more all the time. Stop begging for more. And the other one that he made is this owl. This owl is actually a pattern for an owl that's made with worsted weight yarn, and it's supposed to be about this big. Well, he made it with the Bernat blanket yarn, and it is much more substantial in size. I think it turned out pretty cute. He wasn't sure about the eyes. I like the way it turned out. It's got the little flappy wings. I think it's super cute. Now let's see if I can get them to fit back in the box. There's just enough room in the box for me to make a few more tiny things, since everything he makes is so huge. Well, except the octopus, but I think he got bored with that, primarily because his stitches are so ultra tight. I mean, for this guy here, I used a 3.5 millimeter hook, and this is allegedly worsted weight yarn, but this is that Premier Eversoft, which to me is more like a DK or a light or a 3 yarn. And as you can see on the back, even with me using a 3.5 millimeter hook, there are still a few little gaps that I'm not entirely pleased with. And had I used a smaller hook, my hands probably would have fallen clear off my arms. I think this bear kind of has a derpy face, but whatever, it's pretty cute. I like the way the color pooled for the striping on the head. Kind of makes his head look like a beach ball. So those are the things that are done. And now to the thing that I've been working on for most of this week. Only taking a break to make the mini monster, and I will link the pattern for that down below. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. This is a toddler dress that I am working on. And I'm about halfway done with this row on the bottom. Then I have 1 or 2 more rows, and I have to add the straps and put the buttons on the back to hold the back together. But this is for a friend's little girl. Her birthday, I'm not sure when her birthday is. Her party was going to be today, but now it's tomorrow, which is great for me because I've been stressing about getting this damn thing done. This is a pattern from the Lavender Chair, and this is a 2T size. Judging from the size of it, it's gonna probably hit her just below the knee. Hopefully, because she's kind of tiny. So here's hoping that it's not too long for her. The lighting in here is kind of crap today because there's not really a lot of sunlight. It's overcast. It's not raining right now, but it definitely rained last night, and we might be getting more rain later today. And as you can see, I have a naked face. I look tired as hell. I've not been sleeping well this week. I debated for like 5 minutes about putting on makeup, and I finally just said, you know what? I could have had the video half recorded by now if I quit worrying about how my face looks. Because people are looking at this stuff more than they're looking at me. I've been lucky to avoid creepy stalkers who just want to talk about the way I look for the most part. So knock on wood that it stays that way. This is all done in cotton yarn. I want to say this colorway is called Nautical, maybe. The ball band is long gone on this, but oh, I managed to get it wrapped around. Oh, I guess not wrapped around. There we go. But this is what is left of the cone after doing a few other projects and making the bottom part of this. This white is just a solid white, obviously. And there is a stripe of it here. And the straps are also going to be made with the same solid white. So this is just all cotton, so this is going to be great for summer. And since we're all affiliated with the military and with July 4th coming up, I thought it would be a super cute thing for a little girl to have, a patriotic Go America type dress. That. And the other thing that I started working on, even though I really should stop starting new things because I've got so much crap halfway finished that I really just need to buckle down and do, even if I don't completely want to do it. I started making a corner to corner blanket that has leftover cotton bits stuck all over it because I have so much junk all in the same box. This is the start of a corner to corner blanket, and this is the miscellaneous sale yarn that I got from Ice Yarns. move some of this stuff out of the way. I seriously have so much crap packed into the same box. I'm amazed I can find anything right now. Oh, where is that? So I'm actually using an eye hook to do this because the last time I made a corner to corner blanket, I stitch fairly tightly when I crochet, not as crazy tight as my husband does, but every time I use an H hook with a solid stitch like this, it just makes it super stiff and I don't like that. Renegade! The dog must see something outside, probably one of the squirrels in the backyard. And as you know, squirrels are secret agents out to destroy us all. Just so you know, my dog is protecting us and the entire world from the danger that is squirrels. Anyway, so these balls of yarn are... I'm gonna have to go get her. Give me just a second. So anyway, before the dog bark interrupted my train of thought, corner to corner. When I use an H hook and corner to corner, it makes it so stiff that it could pretty much stand on its own. So I'm using an eye hook, and the stitches are still fairly close together. If you've ever made a corner to corner anything, you know that it's fairly lacking in holes compared to most crochet, which is nice. And this is a striping yarn that I'm pretty sure they were using for bigger cakes, and these are just the end pieces. I could be wrong on that, but who knows. These came in a pack of 8, and they all have different groupings of 4 colors, I believe. Yeah, because there's this cream, this light blue, this more oatmeal color, and then there's a darker grayish tone. I don't know if you can really see the difference or not on camera there. There we go, a little bit. So this is more of an oatmeal color and this has more of a gray to it. But they're all in varying combinations of that striping pattern, so I thought that rather than having to tie off a million different colors to make stripes in a C2C, I'm just going to use these as they go. I'm gonna see how big it is after doing 2 of them. I might end up using 3 for increase and then 3 for decrease. These are just 50-gram balls. They're 100% acrylic. I don't know if it says yardage anywhere. 110 meters, so we'll see. Because I'd like to, I've already got the one blanket that I want to send off for Kai's blanket drive for a few hospitals in and near Vegas. So I wanted to make this in another adult-sized lap blanket because I know she said last video I saw that she has a lot of baby blankets that people have been sending. So I thought I'd work on making another adult-sized one. So we'll see how that goes. There's that, and all my other whips are ongoing. I've still got the patriotic blanket that I've been working on. I still have my son's Afghan. I worked on my color block top a little bit, not much. So what I've done is I've gotten these, is that the inside or the outside? That's the inside, alright. So I've got the bust part of this one piece of it done. And then I just have to do the other piece and add the straps. This is going to be here on the bust. This is a different stitch from the bottom, which is just double crochet done sideways. And it was supposed to, when I conceptualized it, look kind of like a latte, like a dark cup of espresso with some cream on top. The more I look at it, the more it looks to me like a mug of beer or root beer, which was not my intention, but whatever. So I'm really hoping that I like it when it's done, because looking at it in just this half piece right now, I'm kind of severely in hate with it. I probably should have just done it in the round from the get-go, because when I do something where I have to make multiple pieces, I start off with good intentions, I make good progress at first, and then I get to the point of monotony where I'm just so tired of making the same thing or having to make a second of something that it doesn't end well. So for the most part, I have the dress I'm going to be finishing up today. I have a few other things I want to get working on more. I really just need to get out from under these blanket whips for the most part. I don't know why I keep starting blankets. I'm not really a big fan of making them. I like smaller projects that go quickly. I think maybe to burn up some yarn, I'm going to make some more charity hats and mittens to go with them, because even though it's starting to get warmer by and large during the day, it is pretty chilly still at night. It's about 40 degrees, 45 at night here still. And I've seen, as per usual, every time we go into town, there are people on the corner panhandling, talking about how they're cold and hungry. And my bleeding heart just dies every time I see those people. I really wish there was more that I could do for them. But I do always try to keep something in the car that I can give them. Have a couple of spare dollars worth of change, a granola bar, something that's a non-perishable food just stuffed into a hat with a pair of mittens on hand all the time to give out to somebody, because there really are just that many homeless people here. Which I guess is kind of an epidemic near military bases, especially when that's paired with being maybe an hour away from a huge city. Absolutely horrible. It really pains me that there are people in this modern world who have to live like that. Are there some people who made horrible decisions in their life and they kind of earned that life on the streets? Yeah, sure there are. There are always going to be people like that. But to assume that every single person that you see asking for help is someone who secretly has a brand new iPhone at home and is just out to make a few extra side bucks, that's a crappy thing to assume of your fellow human beings. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that there are people who do that. I see people posting articles about those dirtbags on Facebook all the time. But it's not fair to the people who do genuinely need help. And it's a lot like the poison Skittle theory. That, well, if you knew that there was one poison Skittle out of X large number of them, would you still eat the Skittles anyway on the off chance that that one poison one, you might consume it and die? And here's the thing. If there are people who are in need of help and you automatically refuse them based on some bias or implied sort of societally accepted fear or bigotry, you're gonna push those people over the edge. Especially in regards to terrorists. If somebody is kind of on the fence about becoming a terrorist, for example, and you automatically assume based on the way that they look, that they dress, the color of their skin, their religion, you automatically assume that they're going to be a terrorist and they aren't, you've probably given them the nudge that they needed to acknowledge that that is the side they should be on. If you treat people, all people, like human beings deserving of basic necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, you're gonna turn people against society at large. It's just, I guess it's kind of common sense. Maybe it's because I grew up in a place that didn't have a lot of money, so I learned that regardless of the way somebody looks or their societal or social standing, everyone's a person. You treat the janitor with the same respect as you do the CEO. That's just all there is to it. And now that I have gotten into a quasi-political rant that I did not intend to, I'm going to cut this here so that I can go finish that dress and get on with the other things. And maybe if we're lucky, the sun will come out later today. I could kind of use a down, relaxed day at home to get some more around the house things done, but if that doesn't happen, it's not a super big deal. The laundry that needs to be folded will still be there tomorrow, and it's clean in the baskets, it just needs to be folded. So, I guess that's it. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in and watching, and thank you to all the new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you to all of the old subscribers for sticking around. You guys are what make me get up and do this every week at least once, even when there are days where I just kind of sit around and wonder why the hell I would even bother. I mean, how many people could possibly really be watching me just show off the things I make? Apparently quite a few, which is awesome because now I have a few more people to kind of sort of converse with, which is nice when you're a stay-at-home mom and have really nobody to talk to but your kids all day. So, again, gonna cut it here, and I will see all of you guys probably sometime next week. I might do another short video early on, maybe not, so I can actually have something to show you guys at the end of the week. We'll see. So thanks again so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.